store window. So how had she left for Georgia? And why would Margaret, who was always considerate about communication, suddenly become unreachable? Sarah decided to call Margaret's sister directly. After some awkward small talk, she casually mentioned that she had heard Margaret was visiting. The silence on the other end of the line was telling. "Margaret's visiting me?" the sister asked, clearly confused. "I haven't heard from Margaret in weeks. What made you think she was here?" That's when Sarah knew something was seriously wrong. She hung up the phone and immediately called the Tampa Police Department to report Margaret Chen as a missing person. The desk officer explained that adults had the right to disappear and that 48 hours wasn't unusual for someone to be out of contact, especially if they were taking a personal trip. He took Sarah's information and promised that someone would follow up within 24 hours if Margaret didn't surface. But Sarah couldn't wait 24 hours. She called 2 other mutual friends and convinced them that Margaret was in danger. The 3 women spent Friday evening driving around Tampa, checking places Margaret might go: her favorite bookstore, the yoga studio she sometimes attended, the coffee shop where she and David had first met. They found no trace of her. Meanwhile, Margaret's absence from work was becoming more complicated for David to explain. Karen had called again on Friday, this time more insistent that Margaret contact the hospital directly. Hospital policy required personal communication from employees who missed shifts, especially in critical departments like pediatrics. David assured Karen that Margaret would call over the weekend. David spent Friday night researching missing person procedures and police investigation protocols. He read about cases where spouses had successfully convinced authorities that their partners had left voluntarily, and cases where they had failed. He studied the kinds of evidence that police looked for and the questions they typically asked family members. He was preparing for interrogation, though he told himself he was just being cautious. On Saturday morning, Detective Lisa Rodriguez from the Tampa Police Department arrived at the Chen house to conduct a welfare check. Sarah's report, combined with Margaret's unexplained absence from work, had been enough to prompt an official inquiry. Rodriguez was a 15-year veteran of the force with extensive experience in domestic violence cases, and she approached the Chen house with a healthy skepticism about David's story. David invited Rodriguez in and gave her the same explanation he had been giving everyone else. Margaret was visiting family in Georgia, taking some time to decompress from work stress. But Rodriguez asked more pointed questions than Margaret's friends and co-workers had. Where exactly in Georgia was Margaret